Okie Okyere's brutal reign is about to reach its violent conclusion, as the EastEnders drug dealer and manipulator meets a bloody fate at the hands of Harry Mitchell in tomorrow's gripping episode, bringing the disturbing cuckooing storyline to a dramatic end. Okie first entered Albert Square after Ravi Gulati, having lost his family's wealth when Bernie Taylor emptied the Panasar bank accounts, turned to Nicola Mitchell in search of a drug connection to make quick money. Ignoring Nicola's warnings about the dangers of her contacts, Ravi pressed ahead with his plan and recruited Okie as his trusted second-in-command. Their operation soon descended into chaos when police raided their original base. With Harry under their control after he tried to shield Kojo Asare, who had mistakenly disposed of their stash, Ravi and Okie shifted their focus to Kojo himself. Kojo, who is autistic, became an easy target for their manipulation. Pretending to befriend him, they took over his flat and turned it into the center of their drug activity, forcing him to act as a courier for their network. The term cuckooing describes the act of criminals taking over the home of a vulnerable individual to use it for illegal operations. Executive producer Ben Wadey explained, "At EastEnders, we're passionate about telling stories that mirror real issues faced by people every day, and Kojo's cuckooing plot felt especially vital. It's a form of exploitation that often goes unnoticed and has never been explored in the show before. Through Kojo's experience, we wanted to show how easily those who are vulnerable can be trapped and controlled, even in a crowded city like London." He added that the team worked closely with professionals and charities to portray the storyline truthfully and raise awareness of how to spot the signs of manipulation and seek help. The soap partnered with Causeway and the National Autistic Society to ensure accuracy and empathy throughout the narrative. Helen Ball, CEO of Causeway, said, "Cuckooing is a cruel and degrading form of abuse. We're thankful to have collaborated with EastEnders on this powerful storyline, helping viewers understand how grooming and exploitation can happen around them." Dr. Judith Brown from the National Autistic Society added, "It's been a privilege to advise the EastEnders team. Sadly, autistic people are more susceptible to manipulation because they may find it difficult to interpret social cues or recognize harmful behavior. We hope this storyline encourages more people to learn how to recognize the warning signs." Okie's collapse begins when Harry attempts to escape. Nicola intervenes to protect her son by striking a deal with Ravi for his release, but Harry refuses to leave Kojo behind. Instead, he turns to his father, Teddy Mitchell, for help, using a hidden camera to gather evidence. When Ravi and Okie uncover the scheme, they capture Harry. Although Ravi manages to disable the camera, he's forced to flee after learning that rival dealers are coming for him for selling on their turf. Before disappearing, Ravi orders Okie to release Harry, but Okie refuses, keeping him chained in Kojo's spare room, starving him, and pressuring him to take drugs to cope with his suffering. Okie tries to convince everyone that Harry and Kojo have gone on a trip to Cardiff while continuing to use Kojo in his operation. Terrified for his friend, Kojo escapes and tells George everything. Along with Teddy, they rush to save Harry, only to find Okie attempting to load him into a van. When police sirens approach, Okie panics and drops Harry's limp body. In the latest installment, Ravi, now working with the police, is confronted by a desperate Okie who is being hunted by his superiors. Ravi simply advises him to run while he still can. Meanwhile, Kojo insists on returning to his flat, where he unexpectedly comes face to face with Okie once more. Tomorrow's explosive episode will see the long-running feud reach its devastating conclusion as Harry and Okie engage in a fierce fight that's been brewing for weeks. Overcome with fear and rage, Harry finally retaliates, using Okie's own knife against him in a tragic struggle for survival. The confrontation promises to be one of the most emotional and hard-hitting moments of the year, ending Okie's reign of terror and showing the emotional fallout for both Harry and Kojo. The aftermath of the stabbing will send shockwaves through Walford, leaving the Mitchell family reeling from the consequences. To handle the sensitive nature of the scenes, the EastEnders team worked closely with the Ben Kinsella Trust, a charity devoted to tackling knife crime and raising awareness about its devastating impact. The organization provided valuable guidance to ensure the portrayal was realistic, responsible, and emotionally truthful. A spokesperson for the Trust praised EastEnders for its commitment to authenticity, noting that storylines like this can spark vital conversations about violence and prevention among young people. By combining emotional storytelling, powerful performances, and social awareness, EastEnders aims to deliver not only a gripping piece of drama, but also an important message about the tragic consequences of knife crime across the UK. EastEnders' romance twist as Vicky and Zach share shock kiss and get caught out. Kathy is left reeling next week when she catches Vicky Fowler and Zach Hudson sharing a kiss in EastEnders. The surprising moment happens after Vicky opens up to Zach about the lasting trauma she's been struggling with since Joel Marshall's attack. As emotions run high, the pair grow closer, and one thing leads to another when Zach moves in to comfort her. However, their private moment doesn't stay secret for long, as Kathy walks in and catches them mid-kiss. Zach immediately insists it was a moment of weakness and begs her not to tell Sharon, who's still away in Florida. Now, the decision is in Kathy's hands. Will she keep quiet, or will the truth come out? Earlier in the week, Vicky is shaken when she learns Joel plans to plead not guilty at his trial, but she still agrees to attend a pub quiz at the Vic. Paired with Ross, things seem to be looking up until Chelsea's date, Damon, catches Vicky's attention for all the wrong reasons. After spotting him on the phone to his wife, Vicky publicly calls him out as a cheat, creating chaos in the pub. The confrontation later escalates in the laundrette, where Damon attacks her, forcing Vicky to push him away. He falls, hitting his head badly, leaving Vicky in shock until Zach steps in to help. Later in the week, a remorseful Zach opens up to Kathy about what happened, admitting that kissing Vicky was a huge mistake. He confesses that the moment got out of hand and that he never intended to cross the line, especially knowing how fragile Vicky has been since Joel's attack. Zach struggles with guilt, fearing that he's only made things harder for her at a time when she needs stability and support, not more emotional confusion. Kathy listens patiently, but doesn't let him off easily, reminding Zach that his actions could have serious consequences, particularly if Sharon or Ross were to find out. She warns him that while his intentions may have come from a place of kindness, blurring the lines with someone so vulnerable is never the right answer. Always the voice of wisdom, Kathy gently urges Zach to put his energy into something positive, namely, his relationship with his son, Barney. She reminds him that Barney is still adjusting to recent changes in their lives and needs a steady, dependable father figure. Taking her words to heart, Zach resolves to focus on being there for his son and to keep his distance from Vicky, though whether that's easier said than done remains to be seen. As Zach wrestles with guilt and confusion, it's clear that the fallout from that single kiss is far from over. Is Vicky and Zach's kiss just a fleeting moment of comfort, or the spark of a forbidden romance that could tear the Mitchell and Watts families apart? EastEnders airs Monday to Thursday at 7:30 p.m. on BBC One, with early episodes streaming on BBC iPlayer from 6 a.m.